Hello there. The government has now done a neck-wrenching U-turn and will use teacher-predicted exam grades instead of computer say no. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost, and I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. This A-level non-examination saga has soaked up more column inches in the last few days than Brexit and COVID combined. And it's also completely overshadowed the government campaign launched yesterday to get children back to school safely. #backtoschoolsafely, to reassure parents and students that schools and colleges are ready for their return in September. So a pandemic arrives and teachers can't teach because schools are closed down for public health reasons. And due to the length of the lockdown being many months, rather than the few weeks we were initially led to believe it would be, the shutting down of schools inevitably led to no exams taking place. So with universities needing students and fees, especially now that foreign students can't or won't come and study here, we needed to find a way round this to keep the education pipeline filled and moving. Even if it meant online-only studying or horrendous socially distanced learning conditions. So commenced a merry dance for ministers and educationalists over how to try and manage a way forward for giving children grades that were robust, believable and not inflated. The whole saga started in Scotland with a U-turn to rely on teachers' predicted grades, which seems to have informed decisions in Wales and Northern Ireland to do the same. But in England, the Education Secretary Gavin Williamson stuck to using an algorithm run by the Office of Qualifications and Examinations Regulation, known as Ofqual, to decide the grades. And this resulted in significant downgrades, with the predicted effect of creating many disappointed children and parents. After a huge backlash, the government was forced into a screeching handbrake U-turn and followed teachers' grades for A-levels and now also for GCSEs and AS level exams. And yesterday, Roger Taylor, the chair of Ofqual, apologised to students and families on the BBC for the 5 days of turmoil. And massively embarrassing for the government and Gavin Williamson, especially, who is already under pressure to resign. And Twitter account UK Prime Minister tweeted out at 4:23 PM yesterday that A-level, AS level and GCSE results will now be based on teacher assessed grades. Students will receive the higher of their teacher assessed grade or their moderated grade. While the hapless Education Secretary Gavin Williamson was forced to say, "Sorry for the distress this has caused," and "We worked with Ofqual to construct the fairest possible model, but it is clear that the process of allocating grades has resulted in more significant inconsistencies than can be resolved through an appeals process. We now believe it is better to offer young people and parents certainty by moving to teacher-assessed grades for both A and AS level and GCSE results. I am sorry for the distress this has caused young people and their parents, but hope this announcement will now provide the certainty and reassurance they deserve." But as Rob Powell, Sky News political correspondent, wrote in an article, students across the UK may feel more comfortable with their career prospects this evening. Gavin Williamson probably doesn't. Ouch. But showing rhino hide tenacity, Williamson says today that he will stay on in post. But now that clearing has ended, many of those youngsters who've had their good grades reinstated are missing out. And it is reported that 150,000 or so young people are waiting to see what's going to happen to them. Now pressure will come on the government to get rid of any student number caps and for universities to increase the number of places available. And on cue, Tory MP David Davis tweeted, "Right decision on A-levels and GCSEs. Best call for the pupils. I imagine that the judicial reviews will mostly evaporate. Universities should now fill all their places left vacant by foreign students with UK students. Trouble is, while social distancing rules remain in place, there might not be sufficient space in classes, lecture halls and student accommodation. Anyway, once the furore over these results has died down, other problems will emerge to dog the authorities. Those going to university will be expected to pay for the privilege once they're earning. But while this pandemic continues, what will they be getting in return? Further, those looking forward to GCSE exams and above next year will have probably been taught in a not ideal learning environment. Many of them might also be affected by local and even personal lockdowns, especially in these coming winter months. Will these have to be taken into account, and if so, how? Will we find more tinkering with exams and results next year? And how about university exams and classes of degree? Honestly, the confusion and despair that these children and their families have faced in the past few days is nothing short of criminal, thanks to an algorithm being left to decide their future, and I would surmise there's more to come. I look back at the relatively carefree life I had when I was their age, compared to the pandemic limiting existence kids have today. And the new normal looks increasingly unpleasant by the day, especially wearing those hideous masks. Now, one aspect of this that I haven't seen talked about is the real potential for a lack of the sort of part-time jobs that will be available in university towns to help students pay their way or earn a bit of necessary spending money. If you want this whole thing to work, that will need addressing with additional loans or even grants right now to last for possibly the next year. In 2018, The Independent ran with a story saying that the financial situation for students is getting more and more bleak, and as a result about 5% were forced to turn to more unsavoury ways of earning money. We've been in such a rush to get them into the hallowed halls of learning that maybe a few hard realities have been missed. Then there's the other learning experience from going to university, meeting and mingling closely with other people in both learning and social settings. It is this total immersion experience that gives university a huge added bonus. But while these semi-lockdown social distancing rules persist, I can't see that happening. Unless lockdown is ended, including the local ones, I can't see how learning will not be affected. So more grades may have to be handed out, or exams made less demanding, and possibly for quite a while yet. And if the education of our young people suffers, the future of this nation suffers with it. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it by following the merchandise link in the descriptions box below. So what do you think about this A-level saga? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.